Shalom. The water Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai is his son, his only begotten son, who the world called Jesus Christ. These are the names we call upon, pray to, give reverence to, in the hope that we're going to be saved from this captivity that we're yet this day in, which we've been made to serve. So I just want to do another quick hit, going into, and also Dwadi Yabashim Shai for the elders that have labored before me and continue to labor, you know, all through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shai. All honor, glory, and praises go back to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Yeah, I wanted to do a quick hit just on health. You know, we are some of the most unhealthiest people on the earth, talking to you Israelites. You know, the scriptures talk about us eating our bread defiled among the Gentiles, roughly paraphrasing, you know, and everything we know is polluted and defiled. You know, I've made similar lessons, but that makes no excuse. There's no excuse to not trying to be healthy, right? It says in Wisdom of Solomon, I believe it's the 16th chapter and the 26th or 7th verse, it talks about the word is what's going to nourish us and give us that nutrition, give us what we need internally, meaning mentally, you know. To have a healthy mind and a sound mind, you know, we have to always go back and abide in the scriptures. You know, it says that health or the healing of the nations is of the Lord, right? It's him who's able to heal and kill, you know, and make well and raise up and put down, you know, so on and so forth. That all comes from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You know, it says he wounds and he heals. You know, so that's who we need to go to for healing, you know, for health, right? He said he's a saving health. And it also talks about him being able to heal all things. He said he will take sickness away from us. When you read Exodus 23 and 25, it says that he can withdraw that sickness from us as long as we hold on to his ways. He said it will bless our bread and bless our water and take sickness away from thee. And you know, as it goes into in Isaiah, the 1st chapter and the 5th verse, it says the whole head is sick and the whole heart is faint. You know, so that's going into your mind, right? So the health is going to come from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai concerning the mind. Now, we can't neglect also, you know, this temple, this vessel that was given unto us. It says our body is a temple, and this is a vessel being given unto us. So we can't defile our temple, as the scriptures go into. So one big temptation that these damn devils put out is all this junk food, you know, and it's called junk food for a reason, because it's not beneficial to you. In fact, it's going to slow you up. It's going to have you receive all these parasites in your body and ultimately make you sick, you know. Now, we're told and commanded to put forth all our strength to serve Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, you know, and to receive and to have energy, we need to eat certain foods, right? So it also says that a sound body and health is far above rubies. You know, this is why you see a lot of our people dying at such a young age, because they don't look after their temple. You know, they're just shoveling shit into their mouth and not thinking of the consequences. You know, we give up one bad habit and take on another bad habit, and one of the bad habits that a lot of our people, and even brothers, sisters that have come into the truth, you'll find you may have stopped smoking cigarettes, stopped smoking weed, but then started eating junk food, you know, which also, when you eat that stuff, like I said, it creates parasites and they start eating off you, and you know, you're weak, lethargic, even too much of that sugar, which they put all over everything, you know, chocolate bars, you know, everything's packed with sugar, you know, and they'll put it out there, you know, low calories and this and that, but it's just all just chemically made in a lab, all these different chemicals and E numbers. And hey, you gotta, you know, brothers say, hey, yeah, I'm not eating this, and you know, I'm not sinning, I'm not going off. But when you check on the back of these packs, even though it says that it doesn't contain pork or shrimp, crab, lobster, a lot of the time it's pork, right? Like the kids' sweets has got pork in it. But what you'll find is when you research, which I've done a research on some of these E numbers, which they put on the inside these genetically modified things that we're shoving inside our body. When you check out some of the E numbers, it's actually got pork in it, right? It's actually bits of animal, right? And they're not specific on what animal. And you know these devils deceive. So there's a lot of pork in stuff, even though it tells you there's no pork in stuff, right? So we just got to be more cautious and careful what we're eating if we can. You know, of course we're in our captivity, so it's hard to not, you know, eat, you know, things that are defiled. Sometimes we're unaware, you know, but it still gives you no excuse to not look after yourself. You know, eating things that are gonna boost your energy. You know, when you eat all that sugar, it causes diabetes, type 2 diabetes, right? Which a lot of our people suffer from. You know, I've got family members that are coming into their 40s, 50s, even some younger. You know, they get diabetes because of what they've been putting in to their body. Now, you know, we want to make sure that that's not one of us, you know, catching one of these diseases. You know, we don't want that, you know, so we got to look after ourselves, look after our health, you know. And I know for a fact when you eat shit, your energy levels are much lower than when you're eating good things. You're full of beans, as they say. So yeah, just be careful what you eat, even with the fizzy pop drinks and the fizzy drinks. You want to try and lay off all these sugary drinks. And you know, they put out, these damn devils, they put out, you know, 0 sugar, no calories, 0 sugar. Well, in those drinks you got something called aspartame, aspartame K, which ultimately when they tested it on swine, it gave them cancer. You know, so these things, you know, these sugar free, this and that, you know, they're replacing the sugar with bullshit, you know, chemicals which can give you cancer. So, you know, it's just about, as the scripture says, you know, a wise man's going to be circumspect in his goings. You know, we're always going to check what we're eating, not just, okay, looks good, smells good, I'm just going to shovel it down my throat. And then, you know, in the long run, you know, it's causing you a whole types of ailments in your body. You know, bad joints, you know, bad backs, bad joints, you know. So, you know, the best thing you can do is probably buy your own food and cook it yourself, man. You know, and you'll have energy to do that when you do start eating healthy. You know, I know everyone, you know, for the majority be working and find it hard to find time, but this is more important. You know, your health, you know, your health mentally and physically is more important than you catching your program, what you want to watch or whatever the case may be. You know, so, you know, take a little bit more time to go out and find stuff that's going to be healthy for you to eat. You know, and lay off that stuff that is bad for you, which, you know, it's on every corner. You know, it's on every high street or garbage. This is how, as we're consumers, this is how they're able to make their money, all these other nations, by selling us Israelites bullshit. You know, and there's certain things that they'll feed to us which they won't even feed to their own children. You know, while Esau sets up all these stores and stuff and gets all this product in, you know, all this defiled shit, right? They won't even feed it to their own children. You know, certain dishes, you know, you might have a, you know, Elam, you know, restaurant, you know, Moab restaurant. Some of this stuff they're not even feeding to their own children. Or do they serve? Or is it traditional Indian food? You know, this is to satisfy the bellies, our bellies. You know, and yeah, it's just about being cautious. So the best way is to get your own stuff and make it. It's not hard. You know, you don't have to be a Michelin star chef. You want to be able to really look well to your goings and just use wisdom in every sense. You know, because if you did have wisdom, you are going to look after your body. So yeah, that's for all of us. You know, what it say? Why should you die, O Israel? Because you can have a sound mind, but you've been treating your body like shit, and then all of a sudden, you know, you end up on a hospital bed. You know, so yeah. Even though it's not a sin as such, it's not expedient to be moving in such a way where you're letting your health get completely out of hand. You know, it's only going to lead to death, right, and ailments, so on and so forth. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to get. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh Shem El Shai. Hey, everyone, hey, look after your health, man. Look after your health. Shalom.